everyone. Thank you for being here today for our panel discussion on social media, a necessity or a treat for teens. Tonight, we aim to provide factual information and conceptual knowledge. Secondly, raise awareness of the theories and principles behind social media's influence and explore practical solutions to help teens navigate these challenges. Joining us are two insightful panelists. Firstly, Atira. Atira is a psychology student specializing in adolescent behavior who will help us understand the mental health effects of social media. Secondly, Wafi. Wafi is a media studies student passionate about digital culture who will share insight into how social media shapes modern teen culture. Let's begin. Our first question is, what are the main ways social media impacts teens' mental health? Atira, could you start us off?
Thank you, Adeline. Social media affect teens' mental health in several ways. On the positive side, platforms offer opportunity for self-expression and connection. For example, teens who feel isolated in their schools or communities can find supportive online spaces to share their thoughts and feelings. However, the negatives are concerning. Research shows that excessive social media use correlates with higher rates of anxiety and depression. This can be explained through concepts like social comparison theory. Teens often compare themselves to the curated, idealized version of others they see online, which leads to feeling of inadequacy. Cyberbullying is another serious issue. A 2023 study revealed that 60% of teens have experienced some form of online harassment. Unlike in-person bullying, cyberbullying is pervasive and can occur 24/7. Finally, let's talk about FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Seeing friends attend events or achieve milestones online can create a sense of exclusion, which contribute to stress and anxiety. Addressing this issue requires awareness and intentional use of social media.
Thank you, Atira, for highlighting these points. The link between mental health and social media is indeed multifaceted. Wafi, how do you see social media's roles in shaping teen culture, and does its cultural significance outweigh its risks?
Thank you, Adeline. Social media is undeniably central to teen culture today. Platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, and others have become more than just tools for communication. They are places where teens express themselves, follow trends, build relationships, and engage in activism. These platforms shape how young people interact with the world, how they see themselves, and even how they define success and identity. Let's start with the positive ones. Social media has revolutionized how teens express their creativity. Through platforms like TikTok, many teens share videos showcasing their talents, whether it's dance, music, comedy, or even visual art. Instagram has become a space where teens experiment with photography, aesthetics, and personal branding. These platforms encourage self-expression and give young people the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals across the globe. For example, let's talk about activism. Many teens use social media to raise awareness about causes they deeply care about. Think of movements like hashtag Black Lives Matter or hashtag Fridays for Fortune, which gained significant momentum online. Youth engagement has been at the forefront of this campaign, using tools like hashtags, viral videos, and informative posts to educate others and inspire change. In a world where young voices have often been ignored, social media amplifies them, giving teens a platform to demand attention and action. Social media also fosters a sense of community. For teens who may feel isolated in their offline lives, whether due to geographic location, personal interests, or other factors, online platforms offer a space where they can find support. For instance, LGBTQ plus teens often find affirming communities on platforms like Reddit or Twitter. These spaces allow them to share their experience, connect with others who understand their struggles, and feel less alone. In this way, social media can be a lifeline for mental health and emotional support. Similarly, teens can use the platform to stay informed about world events. Gone are the days when news was only consumed through traditional outlets. Teens today are more aware of global issues, from climate change to human rights violations, because they encounter this information directly in their feeds. However, despite the advantages, the risks associated with social media cannot be ignored. One of the most significant concerns is how these platforms promote a culture of instant gratification. Teens often measure their self-worth through likes, comments, and followers. The validation they receive or don't receive can deeply impact their mental health. A post that doesn't perform well might lead to feelings or rejection or inadequacy. Research supports this. A study by the Royal Society for Public Health found that platforms like Instagram and Snapchat are associated with increased feelings of anxiety, depression, and loneliness among young people. The pressure to create a perfect online persona often leads to a disconnection between who teens really are and how they present themselves online. This brings me to the concept of cultivation theory. According to this theory, repeated exposure to specific types of content influence how individuals perceive reality. For teens, this could mean developing unrealistic beauty standards or equating success with materialism. Let's consider beauty standards. Platforms like Instagram uploaded with images of flawless, airbrush influencers. Many teens, especially younger, internalize this image and begin to believe that their worth is tied to this appearance. They might start comparing themselves to these unattainable standards, leading to issues like low self-esteem, body dysmorphia, and even eating disorders. It's not just beauty standards. Cultivation theory also applies to how teens perceive success on social media. Wealth and luxury are often glorified. Influencers showcasing expensive cars, designer clothes, and lavish vacations create a narrative that equates happiness with material possessions. For teens who don't have access to these resources, this can lead to the feelings of inadequacy and dissatisfaction. Another factor to consider is how algorithms shape what teens see online. Social media platforms are designed to keep users engaged, which means they often prioritize content that elicits strong emotional reactions, whether it's outrage, envy, or excitement. This can lead to an echo chamber effect, where teens are constantly exposed to content that reinforce specific ideas or biases. For instance, a teen interested in fitness might start following workout influencers. Over time, the algorithm might flood their feed with extreme diet plus or unhealthy fitness routines, pushing them toward dangerous behaviors. Similarly, exposure to politically biased or polarizing content can shape their worldview in ways that are not always balanced or accurate. We also need to address the darker side of social media, cyberbullying. Unlike traditional bullying, which is confined to specific settings like schools, cyberbullying follows teens everywhere. Hurtful comments, exclusion, or public shaming online can have devastating effects on mental health. What makes it worse is the anonymity some platforms provide, allowing bullies to attack others without facing consequences. Peer pressure is another challenge. On platforms like Snapchat or TikTok, trends can encourage risky behavior, whether it's participating in dangerous challenges or posting inappropriate content. Teens often feel compelled to conform to what their peers are doing online. In conclusion, social media is a double-edged sword. While it offers incredible opportunities for creativity, connection, and activism, it also comes with significant risks. Teens are at a critical stage of development, and how they interact with these platforms can have long-lasting effects on their mental health, self-esteem, and worldview. By approaching social media with critical thinking, balance, and support, teens can harness its potential without falling victim to its pitfalls.
Thank you, Wafi. Let's take a moment to hear from our audience. Does anyone have a question about how social media affects teens' mental health or culture?
How can teens identify whether social media affects their mental health?
Great question. Teens should watch for signs like feeling stressed, anxious, or sad after using social media. If they find themselves comparing their life to others or losing sleep due to excessive scrolling, these are red flags. Taking regular breaks and discussing this feeling with someone they trust can help. Do you think teens should delete their social media account altogether?
I don't think deleting accounts is necessary unless it's causing severe harm. Instead, teens can use social media intentionally by following positive accounts, setting time limits, and curating their feeds to avoid toxic content.
Thank you for this question. Let's shift to solution. Akira, what strategies can teens and their families use to manage social media effectively?
Open communication is crucial. Families should set clear boundaries like limiting screen time and creating tech-free zones during meals. Encouraging offline activities such as sports, hobbies, or volunteering help reduce reliance on social media for validation. According to the self-determination theory, pursuing intrinsic motivation leads to greater emotional well-being. Schools can also play a role by teaching media literacy. This equips teens with the skills to critically evaluate content and recognize the difference between reality and curated posts. Lastly, mindfulness practice can help. Apps like Headspace offer tools for managing stress and staying present.
Those are excellent strategies. Wafi, what role do social media companies and government plays in creating a safer online environment?
They play a massive role. Social media companies need to prioritize teen safety by implementing features like screen time reminders and improve content moderation. Governments can introduce regulations to protect minors, such as stricter age verification and penalties for platforms that fail to address cyberbullying. Ultimately, it's a shared responsibility between companies, governments, families, and teens themselves.
Let's open the floor for more questions. Do you have any thought or question about the solution discussed? What are some examples of media literacy program for teens?
Media Smarts in Canada and Common Sense Media in the US are great examples. These programs teach teens how to critically evaluate online content and navigate social media responsibly.
Are social media companies really doing enough to protect teens? Not yet. While some platforms have introduced features like break reminders, much more can be done, such as making algorithms more transparent and ensuring age-appropriate content moderation.
Thank you for your question. To wrap up, let's summarize the key takeaways. Firstly, social media has both benefits and risks for teens. Secondly, teens and family can manage use by setting boundaries, promoting offline activities, and practicing media literacy. Thirdly, companies and government must step up to create safer digital spaces. Before we conclude, Atira, what's your final piece of advice for teens navigating social media?
My advice is to prioritize your mental health. Be mindful of how social media makes you feel and don't hesitate to take breaks if needed.
Thank you, Atira. Wafi, your final thought?
Use social media intentionally, follow accounts that inspire you, and limit exposure to toxic content.
Thank you, Atira and Wafi, for your insights, and thank you to our audience for your participation. Let's continue working together to create a healthier digital environment for teens. Have a great evening.